us. And keep your comments coming in, by the way. The hashtag is the explainer.
All right, so welcome to Live Neti. Thank you so much for being with us and always supporting us in whatever we are doing. So guys, back to community. We are here to work against impunity, corruption, sagas, all sorts of sagas, guys. So thank you so much for always being here, following what we do, and supporting our work, all right? You are very incredible following the videos, and I'm so appreciative about your yesterday's interview between Gachagua and Vion was actually focused towards putting in a corner. So looking at the work of the some of these journalists, you would be wondering whether they were sent or are they sending themselves. So Viona was actually there to make sure that he puts Gachagua in a fix and make him show up why he's tribal. And all that Viona was doing was actually digging back to the past information, especially during impeachment process, and also some information that was shared in USA. And again, she quoted the places where Gachagua visited. Now, Gachagua had to challenge that. He had to challenge that very strongly. And let's be looking at some of the details to show this. All right? Now, from the arguments Gachagua raised, he said that he's actually being incriminated for no reason, when in reality all the leaders, at some point, they meet with the people, and they meet with people from different regions. He defended himself, indicating that if we come to party formation or alliances, they are formed regionally, and people come to the table, they actually propose what they'll have and they ask for what they want. These are normal situations. Even if I join a given group, let me say a women group or a chama and all that, we normally join with purposes and intentions, and we subject ourselves to specific demands. If we are joining a chama, for example, we would ask what will we gain from it and why join. We have Tembelea Mama currently that are so much in Kenya, and when we are joining, we ask ourselves, why do we join and what is the gain? Now, however much when it comes to the political end, people interpret it differently. And I've seen Gachagua being incriminated. And at some point, of course, I was supporting that incrimination because I was looking at it as if it was really hiking the subject of tribalism. But of late, when I look at the rest of the leaders now, I'm asking myself, who is not stealing for the people? Guys, look at Kimani Ichung'wah, look at Oscar Sudi, look at Farouk, look at Musalia Mudavadi, look at Wetangula, look at all those leaders. Have come to sit down and realize through analysis that everybody is stealing in one way or the other, either for their house, their immediate family, or their region. Maitha, welcome in the house. Thank you so much for joining us on Live Saga TV. And you can like the video. Hi, Maitha. Hi, Maitha. I'm so appreciative for your presence. You're the first top fan to actually shout out your name. Shout out to Maitha. And I really appreciate. Thank you for the like. I appreciate your likes. So yesterday there was a very serious discussion, And so Viona, I tried to see her, and she was like very focusing towards pinning down Gachagua as a tribal leader. The Master Gaming Channel, mommy, welcome, and good evening. There's somebody who's really calling a lot on video calls, and I don't know. Guys, you can advise me. There are people who keep calling on video calls on Facebook, and they all have to disturb on Facebook, So, hi, Master Gaming Channel. Thank you so much for coming here. And welcome. Like the video. Master Gaming Channel tells me he is my son. Thank you so much. Welcome. And be my son, indeed. I appreciate that. I love having people whom I've mentored. I actually started, teaching long ago. My mommy, my name, Sai. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Sai. I really appreciate, and I appreciate the like too, you know. And I was just discussing political matters in the country. Thank you, Master Gaming Channel, my son. Thank you for liking my channel, or rather my video, and I really appreciate it. So today I decided that I'll do 2 live streams on this channel. So I'm doing one currently up to around 4, and then I'll do another one later during the day, during the evening hours as I do cleaning and all that. All right. Master Gaming is laughing. Why are you laughing? I can be your mother, all right? I'm not young. I'm not young, all right? Maida is like, nice, all right. Rigo Lopez. Rigo Lopez is like, want to marry me. I am Mexican. Our children will be Bexi. All right, Mexican, hola. Though it is the Argentinian people who say hola. How are you? Why do you want to marry on the channel? Okay, Master Gaming Channel tells you, my mother, my son always supports your channel. Thank you for supporting your mother. And you can always even moderate, you know, engage people in the discussion. Rigo Lopez here wants to marry, and he wants to have Mexican stroke Kenyan. So I don't know the kids will be what. Okay, Master Gaming, thank you. All right, so let's dig down into the discussion surrounding Kenya. Of course, today it's about Sakaja and Gachagua. So you saw very well that, you know, Presenter Viona was there to pin down Gachagua, you know, to pin him as a tribal leader and also to pin him on matters which he said while in USA. You remember he talked about the president meeting with the Al-Shabaab, or rather something like that. Now, she was really pinning him to give information. And were it not for being a linguist, a literature fella, who will actually play around with language, Gachagua would have been cornered. Guys, I don't know why Viona cannot also raise a meeting. I'm very fine in Kenya. Very fine in Kenya. For those who don't know where I am, I'm in Kenya right away. And that is why I'm discussing matters Kenya. Though I normally discuss politics from even different places, Cameroon, Ghana, Togo, Uganda, Tanzania, and even the US. And of course, I'll be saying something about US later in the second live stream that will happen maybe around 7. Around 7. I normally do a live stream at 7, but today I've decided I'll do one early, then another one will come at 7. So thank you so much for your presence. And thank you for engaging me in the discussion. It makes everything lively. Okay? Yeah. So let's be looking at Gachagua. You know, Gachagua is a linguist, also literature fellow. And that is why he was able to go about the discussion very safely, or else he would have been cornered. So he was asked question to do with his discussion in Al-Shabaab. He was also asked to do with tribalism, and he was asked something to do with, I think it was something to do with what? The third discussion was surrounding what currently is happening with the president. And of course, we heard what we heard. Now, it's just a summary here and analysis deep into the aspects right there. So it's not a problem when the president meets tribal aspects like groups, and Viona did not want to hear. And she was like, I will call the president. I'm like, I'm waiting. I'm really waiting, because no station has called the president since he started talking about corruption. No one has called even Raila. But they have been able to call Gachagua when he came back from USA to elaborate on matters he talked about while there. We are 9 minutes into the discussion, so let me just turn the camera so that we see this. I appreciate the people who are participating here. So listen to this.
Organize them or congregate them as Kenyans and then listen to their collective issues, which you can then try to seek to address.
That's exactly what we did. I had 2 types of meetings. I had town hall meetings for all Kenyans across 4 communities. Then there were communities that invited me for meetings to discuss issues that are unique to those communities, because communities are not, they have their own unique issues that do not transcend across the country. And I want to ask you a question. I don't want to ask you, I don't want to ask you the question. But let me point out, last week, William Ruto met the Abagusi community in State House. The Kambas were not there. Lawyers were not there. Nobody asked a question. Tomorrow.
Mr. Gachagua,
You can see that interference.
Let me just allow me to interject.
Yeah.
I'm speaking with Mr. Gachagua tonight.
Guys, you understand that? That's when a journalist has been actually met someone who is able to, get the way out of the question, and then they say, I'm meeting you, not Ruto. All right? But Gachagua is very vocal, so he had to go about everything.
With President William Ruto.
I'm just giving an example.
Perhaps when we get to interview him,
I'm just giving an example of only that this thing happens everywhere. Tomorrow morning, the president is meeting 5,000 people from Kiambu. The people from Machakos are not there.
So because he does it, then that makes it okay?
Because they are coming to discuss issues that are unique to that region. Okay? So when I went to the United States, I had town hall meetings for all Kenyans put together. And they were full, packed. And we discussed issues to do with Kenya. On the sidelines, community-based organizations in the United States invited me to engage with them on their own issues, their own culture, their own traditions. There are things that that do not transcend alongside our communities. When I went to Seattle, I was invited for the Demi Festival. The Demi Festival is a musical concert for the Kikuyu nation to dance and sing their songs that are unique to them. I would not have invited other people to come and join in the Demi Festival because those were Kikuyu songs, people celebrating their culture, their identity, and loving it and singing all the way. But there is no one time I refused to engage all Kenyans. In all my meetings, in all the 7 states I went, I had a good town hall meeting with Kenyans across the board.
All right. A member of the audience, across those that you met at the United States.
Yeah, so Fiona, after she realized that she had been beaten in this question, she went ahead to point out that interview, the lady who came up and indicated that Gachagua should actually be more of representational nationalist than tribalist. And again, Gachagua had to overcome that by indicating that he had made her understand everything, clearly. Then she went ahead to ask something about, does Gachagua believe that all Kenyans are central or important in the economy? Or does he believe that it's only the Kikuyus? And again, Gachagua had to overcome that challenge. So it proved to me that Fiona was clearly trying to pin down Gachagua as a tribalist. She even went to dig back to the meetings during the inauguration and also during the impeachment when Gachagua had talked about the shares, And I was just asking myself, even though it's good to hold accountable the leaders, but I was just asking myself, why is it that, why is it that we've not had any station calling upon possibly the president to explain some things that are happening, Since they began mentioning corruption and all that, even empowerment projects, we've seen that at Kapsaret it was, more of empowerment than any other place ever in this country. We also have seen regional aspects when it comes to hiring. If you go check on the names of ambassadors who have been hired of late, if you also go check on the list of the parastatal leaders, CEOs, you will realize that when you talk about tribalism and they only pin down Gachagua, it's not real. Because the real tribalism is happening in government, with some few people being given opportunities, being given direct letters to work, being given promotions, while others are left outside. All right? So that is the real tribalism that we see. In fact, as for me, that's what I see. I've ever seen a situation where my sister has done a course and she went to seek a job in a different region and she was asked what tribe she is. And I'm just asking myself if tribalism will end in Kenya, and I think it's very difficult because the moment you talk to somebody, the next thing they're asking you, where are you from? And why do you think people want to know where you are from? It's not because they are just appreciating where you come from. They want to know your tribe. Some people, you introduce your name and they'll be like, what is your second name? They are not satisfied with the first name you give. Why? Because tribalism is in the blood of Kenyans. So even those who are talking about they are clean about tribalism, they are not. And I wish that many Kenyans would come to this platform and watch and actually give their suggestions. How many times have you gone to places and people want to ask where you come from, or they want to greet you in their mother tongue? I've ever been in Kericho, and I saw a lot of people coming with their mother tongue, greeting me in their mother tongue because they want to test whether I am from there. You know, I was in Kiambu, and when I got to a vehicle, someone was actually communicating to me Amakanga in the language. There is a day I was also from Kitui coming to Nairobi, and somebody talked to me in Kamba language. You know, there is a time I was also in Garissa. They didn't talk to me in their language, but they were, they just raised questions about where you come from. There's a time in an interview in Coast, Taita Taveta, and somebody was like, are you married here or are you Taita? So the politics of tribalism in Kenya, you cannot even heap that on leaders alone. Most Kenyans are tribal. Even when you live on a plot within Nairobi, because there is a time I lived on in Kayole and also in Githurai, and you will hear somebody saying, yule ile duka, or that Luya, or that, So in Kenya, sometimes people refer you to you as per your tribe. Yule Mbaluya, yule Mujoluo. So people in Kenya refer to individuals as per their tribe. So these matters of even asking about a leader, whether they are tribe or not, I don't think they make sense, because I've been listening even to the leaders when they go back to their places. And in fact, I want to ask you people, why do you think the president sometimes goes to places and he wants to speak in that language? Why? Ask yourself why. It's because he wants to gain the trust of these people and appear like he understands what they do. So these are power politics, guys. Anyway, let me get to some more discussions here, because there was another question that was raised on Rigiji. And he had to respond to it. I think it's here. He was asked something here. Let's just listen to this.
At Citizen TV Kenya, at Yvonne Okwara on the X.
A very good work.
Oh my God, commercial break again.
Starting tomorrow, we launch the printable chair yoga practice.
Relationship with the people of Eastern Kenya, and I don't want leaders who have an issue with me as they try to defend William RUTO to drag in the people of Mandera. The people of Mandera have nothing to do with this thing. Those are good people. In fact, they have a brand of attacks for many years. And even as we speak today, half of Mandela is occupied by forces from Jubaland. And I would have expected these leaders over the weekend, the government and the MPs, who are making a lot of noise about Rigiji, to have defended the people of Mandera from the incursions by forces from Jubaland instead of castigating Rigathi Gachagua. So I wanted to clarify that the allegations we have made against William Ruto, she's not from Mandera, she's not Somali, she's not Muslim. Let nobody drag in the people of Mandera, the people of northeastern Kenya, from our issues with William Ruto. They should leave us alone with William Ruto to have our own war. Yeah.
All right.
Waswahili wanajuana na vilemba.
Okay. You returned last Thursday. Earlier that week, your former party, DA, and the Kenya Kwanza Alliance, and Raila Odinga's ODM had a joint parliamentary group meeting. And it was during this meeting that President William Ruto accused the houses, both houses.
I knew that question would be raised.
Of corruption.
Actually, yesterday when I did the reaction, I said it's clearly going to be asked. I knew that Gachagua would be asked to give his opinion about the corruption that is going on and the allegations going on. Let's listen to what he'll say.
Of the executive, yourself as deputy president, do you share the president's views of corruption at the Senate and the National Assembly?
I share his views 100%, but he has no moral authority, absolutely none, to talk about corruption in Parliament, because he's the one who has corrupted Parliament day in, day out. William Ruto pays Parliament for anything that he wants to happen. The finance bill, he paid members of Parliament 200,000 shillings. They passed the finance bill, they were in trouble from the public, and when things backfired, he turned around and threw them under the bus. My own impeachment, the one you are trying to take me through again here, although I underwent that impeachment, I didn't think it was necessary for us to go through it, had nothing to do with gross violation of the Constitution. It had nothing to do with issues that were raised there. Gladys Boss-Shole told William Ruto in a public rally, he told us to get rid of refugee, we did. You had it. Members of Parliament were paid 500,000. Members of the Senate were paid 10 million shillings each to impeach me by William Ruto. He is the one who has taught Parliament to be corrupt. In fact, there's nothing William Ruto does without paying money to people. He cannot now throw these MPs under the bus. And I told these MPs, I remember telling them, this man, I know him, I've been his deputy. He's an expert in use and dump. And the day you lose favor with the public.
And yesterday that Standard had that title, Use and Dump.
What has happened? Because I want to tell these members.
And I remember when I did the reaction, I had to play back what Gachagua had done or said. Okay.
To start with,
oh my
William Ruto
goodness.
was complaining, not about people 10 million. He seemed agitated that the 10 million bribe that was given did not reach the members. That's what appeared to be.
Indeed, I share that thought also, because when he began to raise this issue of corruption, he asked them, do you know that there was money that was sent to you? And people said no. Did that money get to you? No. So I share the same sentiment with what Gachagua is saying here, because it seems that the president was just agitated or annoyed that that money did not reach the people who are supposed to receive. Not that he bribed, because if that money came from his pocket, then that is not what is really pissing him off. The fact is that few people, maybe he has had a problem with the few. They did not let that money reach the people he wanted the money to get to. And because of their own internal conflicts, now he raises that up. All right?
Disturbing him. He didn't have a problem with corruption per se. He seemed pained that somebody has paid 10 million.
Pocketed.
And he was asking the members of Parliament, did you receive the money? And they were saying, no, we did not receive. Which means he was confirming that him and members of Parliament have a working relationship. And who have
Click up AI Note Taker.
My goodness, commercial breaks all
through. It allows you
through.
to focus on your meetings, not your notes.
Have a moral conscience who have refused to take money from William Ruto. And they are all his enemies. He is harassing them using KRA, he is harassing them using DCI, and I know using this multi-agency team. All those members who refuse to take money from him are going to be on his radar.
All right. Kenya Kwanza stood out for its thirst to control the Houses of Parliament.
Yes.
And I want to speak to you now as the person who held the position of Deputy President at the time.
Agenda, our manifesto. And he started, Ruto is not giving these MPs money anymore. They need to go to the ground and talk to people and they don't have money. So what do you expect them to do? Anytime a PS is called for a committee, they say you must give us money. Anytime the minister is called, give us money. So the ministers and PSs have gone to cry to the president. We are unable to do any work now in Parliament because anytime we go, there's too much extortion. What do we do? That is why the president.
Oh my God. So extortion has become too much because someone who introduces it is unable to finance it to the end. They always say when you start something, you have to finish it. They say, maji ukietolea nguo yaoge. But it seems that indeed the water was too much for the president and he decided enough is enough. He's not able to give any more money. You know, the problem with corruption is that it's like selling land. When you start selling inherited land, you will sell until it's over. So when you test corrupt money, you know it's quickly earned. So you will continue testing it and wanting it for anything small until you find that you cannot work without it. Now the MPs seem to have been so much used to it with the small bribes, and until they become now to use their positions are extortion because they were taught slowly by slowly. When you teach a child to bite, they'll bite until one day they have bitten the whole the whole ear. They always say mtoto mfunza ngali mdogo, or when a child is not taught by the mother, the world will teach them. So the world has actually had to teach the MPs to be extortive or extort, all right?
Because the ministers are going to him to tell him,
oh my God.
since he became president, he has never come back here. Even when we did not have issues for a year, we were quite free and friendly. He never came back here. He was too busy taking over and capturing the state. And when we get
now, Gachagua had to come up with a report on state capture and all that, and I'm like, okay. Remember Ruto's time, not Ruto, but Uhuru's time, there were also issues. So what again should we do in our country, you know?
You saw the chairman of the EACC respond after the president spoke. That tells you, if the chairman of the EACC says the president has done well to allow us, it means then they are not independent. And if they allow, as they will, allow William Ruto to take over EACC, and to take over the DA office, what will happen is that we are going to see a lot of trumped-up charges against people who oppose William Ruto. Again, there is going to be a lot of blackmail to leaders who to make the political decisions.
Okay.
This is men. We were told to prosecute him. We had no evidence. Even if that matter proceeded, it would still have been dismissed by the courts. Okay? What pains me, Yvonne, and I feel very sad, is at that time when we were being persecuted by the fourth administration, William Ruto saw that in his administration, never again will he allow the use of the criminal justice system to punish those opposed to him. Yeah. He kept
Hiyo ilikuwa mchezo ya town.
Invest where your money works harder than you.
Hiyo inaitwa mchezo ya town in Kenya, guys. You use and dump, and when you want to acquire what you want, you are so sweet. But when things are working for you, you become very bad.
I told him I will not. He said, go to the TV stations and defend the university model. I said, I will not. Because the thing is not good. You know, I was in a funeral in Kitale. In the Center for Kisii, Richard Oyonka really attacked the government because of Adani. And I spoke last. I did not say anything. I talked about other things. I left. Express highway. The police brought me so that I go to where the trap had been set. When I analyze the situation, you know, I say...
Okay, guys, so you've heard what you've heard. And there was one serious issue that was being discussed. I just want to bring it to question, because this is a part where we really have to bring to terms things. And there was one question about the nature of the president. And I think we saw that Gachagua came up with very funny information about the fact that Ruto is recording evidence on MPs and is going to use it. Let's listen to this.
The agency team under the office of the president to deal with corruption. I can tell you, and I want to tell these members of parliament, you will have to stick with William Ruto to the end. You'll go home together, because the minute you try to move and abandon him, like it happened to Moi in the year 2002, he will have a file on all of you. So all those senators who took money during my impeachment, all those MPs who took money during my impeachment, all those MPs who took money for the finance bill, all those MPs who have been taking money from William Ruto and his cronies for various things in parliament, William Ruto has a file on each one of you, and none of you will be able to abandon him. For the money that you took, you have to stick with William Ruto up to the ballot. And you try, and you tell me, you have seen already, the EACC after William Ruto spoke. That is a script, you can see how good
Now, Gachagua is hinting here information that Ruto is a very clever person, or rather scheming. You know, thieves sometimes, specialized thieves are very strategic, and they use scheming ways to get what they want. So when they give you even money, they'll record it and they'll keep it. Now, I'm seeing incriminating evidence coming about the president, and it's quiet about it. But very soon or later, he's going also to release some files on these people, and they'll automatically have questions to answer. Okay?
Only to realize that it's about business. That William Ruto has seen a business opportunity to sell cement, to sell steel.
So guys, you saw clearly that in that interview, Gachagua came out revealing a lot, but he was also allowing himself to hide some information for whatever reasons, okay? So currently, I think he's celebrating when he sees that SAKAJA might go home. And let's just listen to this. Now, currently, you can see that already the MPs have collected signatures and they're celebrating. 70 signatures have been collected for the MCS who have signed for impeachment of SAKAJA. Now let's watch this. Can you imagine the MCS in Nairobi was celebrating after collecting 70 signatures to impeach SAKAJA, guys. Now, this is not the first time or the second time they are trying to impeach him. This is the third time. And they have come out in numbers to indicate, among several issues, the fact that he is not allowing the broad-based government to move on. He doesn't receive their communication. He has left Nairobi dysfunctional. And of course, if you had, I would wish to you to listen to this guy known as Ndura Warunge. Suli, welcome. Suli, thank you so much for coming on board. I really appreciate. Please give us a like. Give us a like to the channel as we go through this discussion. Hi, Suli. Welcome to the house. Big up to you. So, Warunge was giving several reasons as to why SAKAJA was actually dysfunctional in Nairobi. And he was giving thoughts about who can win in 2027. So let's listen to this.
The first problem, so that is why I will advise Babu.
Suli from Thailand, hi. Big up to you from Thailand. Thailand is a very sweet country. I like their music.
They will be so emotional. So emotional.
But don't you think that's the first problem when you vote out of emotions?
Yeah. It doesn't work. Others is to vote because we were emotional.
Okay.
And that's what I'm calling that we need to change this kind of politics. We need to raise more Gen Zs because Gen Zs will not come in the line of tribal politics. They will to be the deputy.
And we know as a leader is overqualified to become a deputy of anything.
Yes. RUTO was a deputy.
So that's a good stepping stone.
Yes, it will be perfect for him.
And do you see any future in him or maybe becoming a president one day? I don't know.
If the politics goes well, he will become one of the people that will be able to influence the politics of the nation. He will have his own clout, his own following, and his own platform. He will be able to create a platform his own self that is free and void from the Kenyatta, the Raila family. Yes. You will become
Hi, Suli. I already said hi also, though I was focusing on showing something here. But thank you so much for your love and thank you for your like on the platform. So guys, you heard Ndura Warunge. Ndura Warunge was actually showing that Babu Owino is better than SAKAJA by far. And of course, for those of you who have been in Nairobi, you understand Nairobi has become a criminal enterprise with a lot of things that used to happen in past. But currently they are coming back, all right? And SAKAJA has decided to be used. He's among the parliamentarians who are allowing to be used by the executive, all right? And all the time he's there. Suli says, you know Takie. I've had a lot of people watching me from Takie. They normally say Murhaba. For me, I'm communicating in English, Suli. You don't use English at all in Takie? I also heard somebody watching me and they were saying they don't understand English. I'm using English, the Anglophone. We are Anglophone right here. Okay? Yeah, so
William Ruto is in every sky.
Yeah, so hearing about the Sakaja's impeachment becomes a question. I'm half Thai, half Takia. That's good. So you are a half caste? Half caste Thai, half caste Takia. That's good. You must be enjoying two different environments. That is good. For us here, we are in Kenya, and Kenya we have local languages like Luya, Kikuyu, Masai. We have, different other things. Then Ibra KK is saying Sakaja is powerful. How? Tell us. Tell us how Sakaja is powerful. Because actually, if the impeachment has been signed by 20, how many? We've had 70 MCS signing against him. How powerful is he? 3 flags. Takia there, Thai there, Kenya. All right. Thank you so much. All right. So, Ibra KK, like the video, please, for us. And tell us why you think Sakaja is powerful. We can agree or disagree. As per now, Sakaja is not powerful because remember the attacks during the, Sabasaba Day and even before. So many people attacked him and he was unable to defend himself. During the former impeachment plan, he had to run to Raila Odinga. So I don't know whether he still run to Raila Odinga for protection or he'll stand on his own. I don't know Turkish ice cream. You can show us. You can show us, Suli. How is the ice cream? And so, Suli, have you subscribed to the channel? Ibra, subscribe to the channel, please. All right. So the records about all those who are bribed. It's a funny one.
In a live Citizen TV,
Oh my God.
It's because they have to wait longer.
Ibra KK, Duringe, and the rest of the people don't feel like Sakaja has done anything in Nairobi so far. Like what particularly has he done? You can tell us, because it is still his own MCS who have come out. Thank you so much, Suli, for the subscription. I appreciate. Tell us exactly what Sakaja has done in Nairobi. Just don't say what he has done. What particularly has he done? I would wish to hear, I would wish to hear the particular things he has done in Nairobi, because it is the MCS who are saying he has not done. We also had Babu Owino saying he has not done. And we also had Sifuna saying he has not done. And even on the ground, you can tell us, because I've never seen a governor during his time where trash has been collected and placed before KPLC and all that, Mike Sonko used to have his own ills, but we didn't hear that. My real name is Nora Quijoneles. Hey, a very unique name. But I have a cousin known as Nora. Though Quijoneles, I've never heard that name, but I'm hearing from you. And I really appreciate. We have about 2 minutes to go. And I'm just letting Ibra here give us evidence of what Sakaja has done in Nairobi. I'm letting him share, because I heard from it seems you're supporting DCP. I don't go by party. Political analyst, you check on what is happening on the ground. And you even receive calls to give you information about what is happening. You don't go to support a party, because in Kenya we have messed up by supporting parties. Standing by parties is not the best thing to go for. Instead, we go by individuals, what individuals can do on the ground. If we go by parties, you can see what has happened with Kenya Kwanza, what happened with ODM joining Kenya Kwanza and becoming a broad-based confusion with a lot of corruption and extortion that is going in-house, all right? So it's normally good to stand with an individual, not a party. Because what are parties? All this time for years we have been looking at parties and they have messed us up. They have messed us up. Even the former government, they again had a broad-based government again. How did it help us? So it is good that citizens should begin rethinking the election process and go by individuals, not by parties. Because when you stand by parties or support parties, you are messing up the entire world. Because you can imagine voting for, I would wish even all these MPs who have been mentioned to have been engaged in corruption and extortion should not be voted in again. Not at all. Suli is saying Thai is mean in Savadiga, but friends say Savadu. What do you mean by Savadiga? Savadiga is a greeting, because somebody told me Takia they say Murhaba. Hey, it's getting cold and I need to go home also in few minutes. It's now 40 minutes past the time we started, but out there is a discussion on impeachment of SAKAJA, and Ibra is here to stand strongly with the DCP. Is it DCP or which party? I don't know. Or is it ODM or whatever? So hi Suli, I'm almost leaving, and I'm so appreciative with anybody who came here. I'll be doing another live stream by around 7:30 in the evening. Let me prepare to go back home. Yeah, Turkish, I know it's merhaba. But you've told me Savadiga, it is the Thailand language. That's very interesting. Thank you so much for your interactions here. I appreciate for anybody who came on the platform. If you have not subscribed, consider subscribing. Suli told me they have subscribed. Ibra, I don't know whether they have subscribed or not, but let's keep going with political analysis. It's so interesting, so sweet, and sometimes informative. So bye-bye for now. Let's get to it.